And thoughts on the passing of Scott Hall?
Anytime, especially a guy like Scott Hall, because I've known Scott for a long time as well, and especially when he came into Alabama. But I met Scott. Gosh, I'm trying to think of the first time. I went to Germany for Ottawans for a week in Bremen, Germany, to work a match with Stephen Wright, and Scott came out to the ring with me after the show. Went to eat in his caravan, and it's sad when anyone passes away like that, but it's even sadder to me when uh, a guy who who could be very misunderstood, but who was always playing with people, messing with people, and poking the bear, um, falls on hard times. And the stories I've heard about falling, breaking his hip, and then staying in his house, what, 3 or 4 days alone? How does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just was heartbreaking to me too. And then the circumstances after the blood clot goes into your heart. I was very sad, but it's happened way too soon. Everybody goes through it in life. Everybody's going to meet their ending one way or another, and Scott could be very polarizing at times, but that's for the people who didn't know him. My thoughts on the passing was very sad. I'm sorry to see him go. I'm sorry he doesn't have more time on Earth. Didn't have more time on Earth to even inspire or suggest, give advice to the guys coming up now, because that's what we really do. Uh, Once we're done with our career, some guys find it to do it, let me say, more organized and more consistently in a coaching way. But everybody's a coach once they stop wrestling or get on in age, in one way or another, whether you want to or not. Because if one person was inspired by you, and they come up and ask you for some advice, I don't think there's one guy I've ever met, at least in my age bracket, who didn't offer at least something that you can take away. And again, I liken it to mining for gold and going to someone, and they may just give you a few rocks. And then you may go to someone and they may say one thing. They may say one thing, and that's that nugget of gold you've been looking for. Again, having lunch yesterday, we were talking. Casey and I were talking, and I don't even know how we got on this topic, and I can't even talk about the topic right now. But he said, "I'm going to steal that. Do you mind?" I said, "By all means, take it. It's yours." So, just talking and conversation. That's where a lot of that stuff comes from. In fact, that's where the majority of that stuff comes from. And Scott Hall was dynamic and pretty damn good at coming up with stuff that you wouldn't think about, and the way he would say it would make it react, or make it resonate, not react, make it resonate with whoever they were talking to. And that was a fun thing about Scott. He knew how to tell stories. He understood. Sometimes he'll start with a nice little story, and as it goes along, he's poking you to get a reaction, because he's seeing how to push the buttons. And by the end of the story, he's looking at you laughing, said, "I owned you. You were right in the palm of my hand the whole time." So that's I think the legacy of Scott Hall, the knowledge he had, the experience he had, and the advice and passion he passed along and threw out there. He was a bona fide star. I don't think anybody would argue with that. He was part of a huge element in making the Attitude Era happen. And then, whether you say he changed the business or not, for good or worse, he did. He was part of the biggest faction ever to come in, and at that time, Hulk Hogan was not for turning heel. He wasn't. He didn't want to be that. He didn't want to do that. He thought it would kill him, and he was always looking around, had his ear to the ground. And if it wasn't for Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, I don't know if you could have convinced Hogan. So he had a huge influence in this business, no doubt about it. I truly believe he'd be missed.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Hannibal TV.